Hey everyone, welcome to this other tutorial. So in the next tutorial we worked a little bit on how to make a Next project really organized and using SWR and Axios. So this is the video if you want to go back to that, and in this tutorial I want to show you how you can create a better folder structure with exporting components dynamically and importing them into your files, and not only components but also as well as other hooks, for example, or services that you have in your application. So to start with, I want to start with this document, so where I've laid down a little bit of blueprint of what we will do today. So before starting, we have to be aware that having this file structure, for example, in our source we have components, and then for each component we have the folder for that component, and then inside that component we have an index.tsx. And this component example will be created here and then will be exported here. And the way that we're going to import it is just dynamically importing it like this from our components. But to do this we also need to have some libraries installed and have some configuration files that we need to create. So we'll go over those together now, and without losing more time, I'll say let's just go straight into it. So let me go to my code editor in here, and so this is the folder structure for our previous tutorial which we created. So if we see here, we don't have any components folder or anything, we just have a pages folder, and in this page we have the index file where everything is being rendered, so where this page is being rendered. So here we have just a mapping over some to-dos and then just showing them into the screen like that. And yeah, here we show some features of using SWR, but we want to not move but improve this, so there's no reason why moving away from this. We can just also do the same thing, and then we can just import everything, for example, like we're doing right now. So we can use fetch from this USWR, but the way that I want to do it is that I want to put this USWR in a folder and then import everything from hooks. And not only for hooks but also for services that we have here. So in this case for API here, I will create a separate folder about it, and just import it dynamically. Yeah, so let's get started with it. First we need to install some libraries, and yeah, we'll go ahead to the article that we have here and just go install and copy paste everything that we need here in our case. So we need this one, and we need this one as well. So yeah, this is installed. Let's get this one, let's get the other one by one. So this one here. And after installing everything here, it's good to make sure that our application is still running. So after this is installed, we can just do a normal reload and everything is working, because we are not actually using anything. So now we'll go ahead and create this file, which is called bubble record. So this will be created in the root folder, and I'll call this .bubble rec, which has the same name as in here. Alright, and in here I want to copy paste everything from here. So you just need to do the same thing, and I'll show you how you can edit it. So in here we say that components are referred to this directory. We don't have actions for moments. For example, if you have Redux actions, you will do this. And I'll just do the example for the components at the moment. So the same way, this tells us that we can import components from this library. Besides that, we want to also get this other ESLint rec file as well, and then create it here. So ESLint rc, and then paste it here. We have maybe change the name from this to next from next step, from React to next step, because this may be a little bit outdated, this documentation here. And as I say here, it can happen that there are some ESM errors. Let's check those if there are any, but I mean, I don't. So yeah, we have some errors here. So we just need to restart the server and see what is happening here, and go also here to reload and see if it's still working. It will take a moment. So yeah, exactly what I showed you here. So EDSM package that is also in this article. So for this we need to create a next.config.js file which will solve our error. So yeah, let's just do it. It's in here, so we just need to change this with this, and then because we changed the Next.js config file, we need to restart the server and then run yarn dev again, and hopefully this will fix everything. Let's check it. So running yarn dev again. So we still have a problem now again. So okay, so looks like the problem that we had here is that beside all of these libraries that we installed, we forget to install this one. So we'll just go ahead and then do a yarn add, and then add this repository, this library, and hopefully this will have solved all problems. So I'll just go ahead and do a yarn dev again, and it is finally working. So took me a moment to realize that I was missing this, but in the end it worked, looks like. So yeah, let's check it here, and we still have some other error. So this is a live video, the errors are expected, so let me just go over it and see what is happening here. Okay, so I googled it a little bit, and some answers are suggesting to delete the node modules. So we can do that, why not? I mean, let's do what Stack Overflow says us to do. So I'll just go ahead and delete this trash, and also delete the yarn.log file with the trash. Stop the server and do yarn again. So maybe I'll install some fresh libraries. It could be a good idea that I delete this next in here, next folder where it caches everything. And yeah, now let's see if it will work. But the problem looks like to have been packaged about the transforming TypeScript. I'm not sure if we are using this library, but TypeScript could have been causing us some errors here. So let's go back to terminal. Looks like everything is installed again. So let's do a yarn dev again, and from here it looks like everything is looking good. But let's check in here. So let's reload this bad guy again, and we have the same error. I have to look again for this, so yeah, bear with me, I'd say, or skip to a part that you see that I solved the error and go back to see how I solved it. Okay, so let's go ahead with another suggested solution. So it looks like we are missing some other dependencies that we didn't install. So let's install those, and I will update then the document based on those. So let's do yarn add bubble loader in here, and on another project that I have here open, 8.13 is working for this, and I'll change this to latest in here, and after that I'll check the other project that I have. Also looks like we are missing another ESLint for React hooks, which we will add right now. And besides that, looks like we have everything else. And yeah, I'll just go ahead now and see if this is working. So I'll do yarn dev again. Oh, I have to save this first maybe. So one moment, just close this, and I'll write it, and now it should take, delete this again, so it installs the modules as per our specified versions in here. And yeah, let's do yarn again. Oops. So yarn, and then wait a little bit, and then let's do yarn dev, and let's see if that worked. Fingers crossed. If not, then this video will go directly to the trash bin. Yay! So yeah, I think I'll take a look at this, what is happening right now, and come back with an update, and hopefully I'll fix it. Cheers! Alright, so yeah, after making a little bit of debugging myself, I found out that I'm using the wrong extend in here, and we need to extend the extend a little bit more. So I'll paste this, and you can see what we are using here. So let's save it, and then also in the bubble rec file here, we need to make it to preset to something else rather than next step, but it should be next bubble. And besides that, looks like everything is a bubble here is okay. So let's go ahead and try if these small changes fixed our problem. And let's do it on yarn dev again, and go to the website, and boom, now we have something. But we are having an error which says that React is not defined, but we are sure that we can easily fix this error. And what this error means is that it's not finding anything in here. So we have to import React from React in here, and after doing that, we should have our, so we have to import React now to every page because of these configurations that we made. So what I did here is that I added this, so I'll do the same thing in here. Maybe I'll import React on top of everything, and this should have solved it. So boom, yeah, here we have it. Took a little bit, but yeah, it is good that if you followed along with this solution. I will update the tutorial here, so you have a really straightforward implementation of these changes. So after solving this error, I'm happy first of all, and then now I want to go ahead and show you how you can create a component and dynamically import it. So as I said in this tutorial here, in the article here, so what we want to do is that inside the source component, inside the source folder, we want to create a components folder. So we have a source here, and then here we will create a folder called components, and then in this components, let me rename it, and then in this I want to create a folder, and let's say demo component, and then in this demo component I want to create a file, and in this file I'll call it index.tsx, and this index.tsx will just basically be the most simple or the most complex component that you want to create, and should be relatively really simple. So yeah, let's just start writing a normal React component. So I'll import React first from React, and I want to use Copilot here to make the video faster, and beside that I don't want anything else, so I'll just maybe create the demo component here as it is, and then I'll return a simple div saying that this is my demo component, and I want to export this demo component. So I have this component here, and now in the components folder I want to create a file called index.tsx, and in this index file I'll import now the components each one by one. So in this case I'll import demo component from the component, and then I will export it again, and this way I can use this component in here. So in my index file, so I'll import demo component now, demo component from components, and then I'll just go ahead and use it, for example, down here. So I'll say I'll use my demo component in here, and that's basically all I want to do. Let's go a little bit forward, and if we go in here, we have our demo component appearing up here. So this is really cool because it simplifies the imports a lot, but I see here that I imported it wrongly, so I want to import it this way. So I just import it from the components, and for sure I have to components. So did I write this correctly? Rename this. I'm lazy to check if I wrote it correctly, and then let's go to Bubble to see. So it goes to source and components, and yeah, this should be alright. So let's try to refresh it. Let's go into this index here, and let's see that we got it from so here we can see what the error is. So it says that we the transpiler cannot find this directory, which is probably happening in here. So we are importing these demo components from components, and then this components is this directory here, but we are mapping this into our bubble.rec file as source.components, which should be actually the correct one, but here is where we're having our problem. So let's look a little bit in more detail in here on what is happening. So what we have is that we have actually a problem in our folder in here. So in our folder structure in here, because here we are saying that we should have a source folder which contains every pages and everything, but we don't have that source folder. So instead of doing this, we have two options now. So basically we want to put all of our pages inside the source, and then in the source we can have everything else as it's shown here in the in here. So we have source components, or we can either work a little bit with this. So we can change this to be only without source, but just to be components in here. Let's go ahead with the first solution. So we want to create a source folder, and then in the source folder we'll put everything inside. So let's go ahead with it. We'll create a folder called source, and then we will get everything in this source. So we'll get pages inside, we'll get services inside, we'll get everything else inside, we'll even get hooks inside this source, and then we'll get the components inside this source. And what we have with public will stay outside because it doesn't need to go inside, and styles can stay inside. And here we can now it should be pointing to the correct folder. So I'll just stop the server and run it again. And now let's check in the browser if everything is working. So running this, now we're getting an error because it doesn't know where to find the styles, which is good, and that's what we are expecting to see. So in here we'll just import the styles from correctly from where they are. So we need to probably go one directory up, and then because we had in the main, so we had in the main directory there. So we go one up and then we find the styles. So we are in here, or what we can do is that we can just move the styles without doing any changes in here. We can just move the styles in the source, and then down there they will find, so the styles will be found. So we just needed to put everything inside here, and let's reload it again. And here we are, we have everything up and running, and it's working really good. And yeah, that's basically how you do it. And if you want to do something else, so let's say that we want to put all the hooks, or let's do another component maybe. So let's create a second component, or I'll call this YouTube component. And then inside this YouTube component, I'll create a file which will be index.tsx, and then this index.tsx will basically be the same as we had here, but it'll be for the YouTube now. So I'll rename it some component, and I'll name it component in here, and do pretty much the same shit that I did before. Also import it here, YouTube component from this, and then export it here, so I can use it now in my index.jsx here. So instead of importing only one here, now I can import also YouTube component. It's not the best naming convention that I have ever used, but it's for the tutorial. It's good to keep it like this, but I'd suggest you for normal use cases not to use this. And yeah, let's put this here, and then let's check. We have our nice YouTube component up in here, which is looking great according to me, and it makes us fulfill the goal of this video, which is having a nice structure for our component and for everything else. And if you want to go ahead, I can try to do a live example now of having not only components but also having hooks and having everything else appear to the same style, and that should be actually really simple, because we just need to just basically need to copy paste the style from this in this. So we have hooks, and then inside hooks we'll create use swr.ts usewr folder, and then in this folder we'll create an index.tsx file, and then basically we'll get the content from this file to this file. And for sure that we need to change where we get the APIs in here, and instead of having this now, we will delete it, because we have the usewr in here, and then we have the index, and then our hooks folder will have an index.tsx file, and in here it will import everything from here. So we will import what this file has. So it will import the use. Let me see how I wrote it. So yeah, we'll import use fetch from usewr, and then we will export it as well. So export use fetch. And now what we can do is that we can just go into our bubble.track file, and in here we can say that we want to import the hooks from source hooks, which is this here, and then points to this. And now going to make use of this, we can go in this use fetch in here, and we don't import it anymore from this directory, but we import it from hooks. And let's save it. I have every file saved in here, and going in here, reloading it, we have everything as it's supposed to be. And yeah, this is everything about this tutorial: how to keep your folders organized and how to make your imports really nicely. And yeah, I'll try to put every link in the description and provide you guys with the article, and then push all of these changes that I did here into the GitHub repository in another branch, so you can see exactly the changes that I made for this. And yeah, I hope that you found this video useful, even though it's getting a little bit long, but I try to comprehensively explain everything in here. And yeah, I hope you find it useful, and feel free to share it, and catch you guys in the next video. Bye.